All right, hello. We are live on Instagram. Actually, we've been live on Instagram. So, hey, Instagram folks, if you're watching on Instagram, tell me hello. I am looking at the comments. And hello to all of you that are joining us in Facebook, YouTube, if you're watching the replay, and also, what to say, Facebook, we got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I think that's everybody. Wherever you're watching this from, hey. Hey, let me know you are in the house. I got up here a few minutes early just so that all of the platforms can notify folks that we are live. Shout outs to everyone who came Friday night to our networking party / Q&A. We had a good time. We're actually going to be highlighting a few of the individuals who were there. You'll be seeing some of their highlights over this week. So they're going to get a chance to market their business to you guys because I really appreciate it. They came. We had some really good conversation. We had some great networking and people asked some questions and we got some answers. So it was great. And for those of you who want to join next time, we will be having our networking parties every third Friday at 8 p.m. So we have our Monday Night Lives every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on your platform of choice. And then we have our third Fridays, and that is on Zoom. So you do have to register, but it is free. So that's coming up. And we do have some master classes coming up. Just be on the lookout for that information because we have two that are on the horizons. I just need to put out the marketing materials. Y'all, we got a small team. I got to put out these marketing materials, so just bear with me. By the end of the week, the masterclass information will be up by the end of the week. All of the Monday Night Live topics, all the links that you need will be available through either LinkedIn in the event section and in our private Facebook community. So those are the two places other than our email. So if you are on another platform, you don't want to join the LinkedIn community or the Facebook community, I encourage you to at least get on our email list because that's where we send out the links and you can make sure you don't miss anything. But hello. I'm just glancing over here. Got all my screens set up. I was going to do my standing desk, but I was like, not today, y'all. I'm tired. I am tired. What was it? Just yesterday, we had a content day. And it actually is perfect timing for tonight's conversation because tonight we're going to be talking about mastering content creation. We're going to say, what does it say? Engage, educate, and convert your audience on a shoestring budget. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So it's funny that we just did a big content day yesterday and I'm tired. I am tired. I can't even tell you. Like, it was a lot. We did about 4 hours of recording yesterday. That's just the recording, not the planning and all the things. And I'm tired. But I did work today, so it's not like I got a day off. But we're going to talk more about how you guys can get your content together as well. And we're going to do it in a budget-friendly way. So let's go ahead and get started. It's 6 o'clock. We can get started. So before we get too deep into the conversation, I always like to introduce myself. We have new people that join our community every day. So for those of you who are new, hello, I am Corey Fonville Foster. I am a speaker, trainer, certified business coach, and I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions. We are based here in Virginia, USA, and we help small business owners just like yourselves. We help you through getting clarity on what you offer, who you're offering it to, and how to consistently complete your sales and your marketing plans. So many of you are at a place where you are ready to monetize your passion, and we just want to be there to help you do just that. We do that through two different ways, and I'll make it bigger on the screen if you are being able to see our slides today. We do that two different ways. We have our done with you coaching services. That can be one-on-one coaching, group coaching. We also have something called a power hour where you can book just 1 hour and solve one big problem that you're facing. And then we have the other half of our business, which is the done for you marketing, which we have everything from video editing, PDF creation, web design, logo design, email marketing, virtual moderation, all the way to full social media management plans available, and they're all available with your budget in mind. So that is the idea. That is what we do here at iRock. Um, and we just want to make sure that you guys are successful, that you can live life on your own terms. All right, so again, tonight's topic is mastering content creation. We want you to engage, educate, and convert your audience. And we want you to realize that you can do this at whatever budget you have. Now, of course, if you have tons of money in your marketing budget, you can do some pretty creative things. But for those of us who have to be a little bit more frugal, there is still a way. Where there is a will, there's a way. And we're going to talk about that today. So before we dive into the ways in which we can create this content, right? Let's talk about what types of content we're talking about tonight, because the majority of our audience, about I would say maybe 90% or so, are coaches and consultants. So service-based individuals with small businesses. You may still be a team of one. You may be a team of several. And if you're watching, say hello. I can see the comments. But yeah, you may be a team of one. You may be a team of several. And so we have to be cognizant of that. At least I need to be cognizant of that as I give you tips and strategies. So with that in mind, what type of content does a coach / consultant or consultant, I should say, need to think about creating to engage with, right, attract and convert with their target audience? These are things like making graphics for social media. We live in an amazing time where social media is free, right? I'm not talking about all the little extras, but just basic social media is free. Think about before Facebook, even heck before MySpace. I'm aging myself a bit, but before those days, if you wanted to have a business, you had to have inventory, you had to go door to door, have flyers, pay for ads on the radio, pay for ads on the TV, infomercials. Oh my gosh, think about how much money you had to put out before you ever even hope to get a return on your investment, right? But we have social media, so we need to make sure we are utilizing this gift that we've been given. So creating graphics for your posts, for virtual flyers, heck, for regular flyers, you can still use regular flyers. Postcards, I love a good postcard as well. Making video content, so this could be short-term videos, so like videos for your stories, videos for reels, videos just to put wherever you want regarding your business, right? You can do long form video for like YouTube, webinars, courses. You can have courses as well. All of these things are content that you need to make as a business owner, not to mention your live content. So right now we're live. This is still considered content that I'm making, that I'm curating just for you guys. You have content for ads. You have content that incorporates case studies and testimonials. You have content that you can leverage, such as your appearances at events, live or virtual, podcast appearances, radio appearances, features in magazines. All of this is considered content, not to mention things like your ebooks, your regular books, even your email marketing is content for your business. And so instead of thinking of content as just a post, content is any type of thing that you make that goes to your audience that you can leverage to eventually convert them or retain them as a client. Okay, so one thing I'm going to tell you, and this is going to be the theme of tonight, is you need to learn to batch your content. Batch your content. Now, I'm not saying this because I just like to batch because, woohoo. No, I'm saying it because batching your content, one, saves you time. When you have to do one task over and over and over again, it's a lot easier and more time efficient than if you were to go and work, maybe make a post today, then make a story today, write an email today, and then maybe record one video for a course, write one chapter of a book, right? Every time you switch tasks, you have to get into the mindset. You have to figure out who am I talking to? What type of thing am I doing? You may even have to go back and say, what have I already done? all of that is time consuming. But if you sat down and batched your content, right? So for instance, when I make content for myself or my clients, say social media content, I will sit down and make a month's worth at least. I'm actually when it comes to me, I'm at about 90 days. That's what I like to do, 90 days worth of stuff at a time. And so I sit down and I write 90 pieces of content, right? All the posts with the hashtags, the call to actions, all that, 90 right there, boom. Then I make the graphics. I do all of them at one time. Boom, it's done. And then even when we go to schedule them, we schedule all of them at one time. Done. And it just saves so much time. I do this with emails. And if you're in our private Facebook community, you know I've shown you some behind the scenes of what it looks like. Every month I sit down and write every email that we are going to send in that month. All of them are written, and then I send them to my assistant and she schedules all of them at once. Right? And I say schedule because we leverage affordable software that allows us to schedule things out in advance and post it. There's so many things that you can schedule, and this will also give you more time back and helps you be consistent, because I know with my schedule in my life, if I were to say every morning I'm going to do these things, some things I need done because things are going to happen, life is going to be lifing, and some things going to drop. I'm just not going to be able to maintain it all. So in order for me to stay consistent, the days I do have things that I need to do, I just knock out as much of that one project as I can. So I write all my emails, all my LinkedIn articles. We actually post one LinkedIn article / blog every single week. I write those all at once. So like this week, I'll be writing all the emails and all the articles for August, right? In August, I'm not thinking about writing a email or writing a blog or posting it, on a random Tuesday. It's already done. It's already scheduled. So I want you to start changing your mindset to saying, I'm going to batch create, to give myself my time back, hopefully keep you sane and also help you be more consistent. And it is more affordable. And we'll talk about how that pans out when you actually start outsourcing, because the more you purchase, the cheaper the unit, we'll call it the unit price, is typically. If you're a good negotiator, typically. That's how it works. All right. So before you even start making content, I want to talk about a model that I like to use that will help you stay on task, right? Because you don't want to be making content for the sake of making content. You want to make content that's going to connect with your audience. So I love this model. I actually don't even know how they say it because I didn't make it up, but we don't call it the AIDA model. It may not be pronounced that way, but it's AIDA. AIDA. And the A stands for attention, because when you're making content, you need to be able to grab your audience's attention, right? You need an attention grabber right away. Think about how many emails your business sends out every month. And then if you don't know, you should check. Look, this is a little tip. You don't know the answer to this, you should check, what is your open rate? Because if your open rate, you're sending out all these emails and your open rate is like 5%, that means you're not grabbing people's attention. Your subject line is not enticing enough that people are even interested in what you may have to say. They're throwing that crap right in the trash, like, not for me, gone, right? Unsubscribe, whatever the case may be. So make sure with any content that you're making that you are grabbing your audience's attention, not just anybody's attention, but your audience's attention. The I stands for interest. You want to make content that they'll actually be interested in consuming. If I see things from someone that I'm following on social media and it's not my jam, I'm like, I could care less about this. When I go to delete friends and followers, I'm going to delete you because I don't want to see it. I don't care about it. It's not of interest to me at all. So make sure, again, when you're making this content, you're keeping your target audience in mind. Sometimes, yes, we want to post something silly. I used to be the biggest culprit of this, especially on my regular Facebook page. I love cute little GIFs and videos, and I would just post it because I'm like, oh, that's so funny. And I realized that stuff was taking up a lot of my news feed, and that my audience, who most of the people that are following me, especially on Facebook, are business people, they don't care nothing about that. And I think that actually would push them away from working with me because they're like, this girl's weird, because I post all kind of things. And so now I'm more cognizant right, of what I'm posting. I don't necessarily censor myself because I want people to know who I am. Like if I have a strong belief on a topic, I'm not afraid to post that on my personal page. Because I am talking about my personal page. My business is my business, and that's my business. But on my personal page, because people do check and see who you are as a person, I am more cognizant of what I post, and I try to make sure that if I'm gonna post something extremely personal, that I am very solid in those convictions, and that I wouldn't mind someone not wanting to do business with me because of it. So I'm just very, very conscious, I would say, not cautious, but conscious of what I post nowadays. So just make sure your audience is going to be interested in the types of things you post. D stands for desire. Are you touching the things that they care about? Meaning, you should know through your market research, through when you made your business plan, and through what I'm talking to you right now, that you should know the challenges and the wants, the hopes, the dreams of your target audience. And you should be speaking to that. If you are I don't know, let's see, if you are a trauma coach, right? Then you should be talking about ways in which you solve problems of individuals who have dealt with trauma. If you're posting a news article, then it should be about something in trauma because they need to be interested in the topic, but it also should help them in some way, move them forward, even if it's a small little baby step towards where they're trying to go on their journey. All right. And then lastly, the last A stands for action. We always want to make sure that there's a call to action for every piece of content we have. Yes, it's nice for people to just heart something or do a thumbs up, but we want to tell them what to do next. Um, I can't remember where, or it may be on the content that's coming out. I was like, I know I said this recently, but I don't think it's come out yet. I talked about a client I had that I was working with, and she was doing so many cool things with her business, but she was telling me she was frustrated because nobody was like booking a call with her, nobody was buying anything. And so we kind of looked and did like a little quick, I'll call it a mini audit. It really wasn't called that back then. It was just like, let's take a look at what's going on. But we took a look at, what her prospective client was seeing and engaged with her. And what we found is that she never told them what to do. She had people liking things, sharing things, commenting, but there was never a here's what to do next if you enjoyed this. And so that's why people weren't booking a call. You would think, right? We're like, well, you would think they would, DM me. Well, why? If you don't tell them. So that's another part. So attention, interest, desire, and action. We want to grab their attention. We want to make sure the content is interesting to them. We want to make sure it hits those pain points, those desires, those wants that they have. And then we want to tell them what to do next. That is the model that we want to follow for any type of content that we put out. Now, when it comes to crafting that content, we need to always, and I'm going to say it on every time we talk about anything marketing, I'm going to say it. You need to know your audience front ways, back ways, and every way to Sunday. You need to know your audience because if you're saying to yourself when you're making this content, oh, what I sell is for everybody, nobody's going to care about it. Nobody's going to care. It is going to be too broad. I recently had a conversation with an individual who said, like, I don't want to niche down too much. I get it. I get the feeling. But if you don't tell your audience, right, the people that you're marketing to, that you're talking to them with as much stuff as they are getting in front of every single day, they're going to scroll by. And it's not on purpose. They may really want to do what you are offering. They may benefit from it greatly, but they don't have time to discern yes, no, maybe so. If you call them out, they'll see it. If you don't call them out, they're going to move on. And so we need to make sure we have a clear cut, crisp understanding of who our target audience is. I always talk about creating a client avatar. You want to call it a client persona, that's fine. But you should know that person like you know yourself. And then when you create any type of content, whether it's a video, whether it's a post, whether it's planning an event, a webinar, writing a book, you need to keep that person in mind to make sure that it's going to land where you want it to land. Then you need to, as part of that, you need to really make sure you understand their pain points, their challenges, and what they actually want. So often we skip this step and we just assume, and assume it's going to cost you money, right? assuming it's not going to pay the bills. You need to ask them, whether it's through survey, through polls, through emails, through conversations, through case studies. You need to ask them what it is they need in a product or service from you. And then when you create content, a product, a service, an event, you need to keep that in mind, because we will say, oh, I think they'll want a 20 chapter book, but your audience doesn't have the time to sit down and read a 20 chapter book. Oh, they want a course and they want each one of the videos to be about an hour long. But again, your audience doesn't have time to sit for an hour. What they needed was a 10-minute mini course, right? Maybe you think your audience wants to go here, but they really want to go there. All these things matter. So just keep that in mind. And then you need to remember that with this content, you need to be giving out value. Stop worrying about selling and give value. If you find yourself saying you can invest here, buy now, purchase this, order that, more than you saying, I just want to give this to you for free, I hope this helps you. This, you know what I'm saying? No strings attached, like those kinds of things, then you need to check yourself, because it's so important that you show that you're an expert, that you're a thought leader in your industry, and that you don't mind giving things away. Because we've talked about this before, you truly need to build that know, like, and trust. And part of that philosophy is giving massive value. I'm not saying you're going to give everything away for free, because people are like, well, if I give everything away, then what? You can give away pieces, right? And that's why I tell people the things I say are not necessarily revolutionary most of the time. You could probably go on YouTube, you could probably Google, you could probably read a couple books, whatever the case may be. But the key to working with me is that I'm going to give you a plan that has a start and a finish, and all the pieces that go together and they build on one another. Right? If you read a book, it may give you something here, you read another book, give you something there, but you don't know how to put those pieces together. YouTube, you may not even know what to look up, right? So that's the difference. When you work with a company, especially a coach or consultant, they're going to be giving you something that is put together to give you a solve, to give you a result, a return on investment, a ROI, right? That is the difference. So you need to keep that in mind. Stop being afraid that you're giving everything away. It's no way. It's just no way. So give as much as you can away in the content that you are creating. So, and I should have had a preface in the beginning. I'm not going to teach you how to make content today. Yes, you can do this yourself, right? You can make content, especially when it comes to like graphic design. Canva is free. They have a premium version or pro version that's not too expensive. There's Adobe Premiere and lots of other software. If you want to do videos, you can do CapCut and all the other cool video editing software. I will kind of give you a warning when it comes to doing it yourself. If these types of things are not in your wheelhouse, if you're not techie, if this is going to take you a lot of time to do and probably not at the best quality, then I would suggest you not do it. It's not worth it. And I don't care if you have a tight budget. It's probably not worth you trying to spend days upon days, hours upon hours trying to edit your own stuff. You need to find a way to get a couple dollars together and outsource these things, right? So maybe you have an event coming up, but every time you have something on Zoom, you can't even mute and unmute people. Heck, you struggle to mute and unmute yourself. Then, baby, we got to outsource some things, right? If it took you 6 months to make your website, then let's not spend a whole month making some additional content. If you're not a good writer, let's hire somebody else to write. Okay, there's no shame in the game. You're the brains behind the operation. You still get credit. Outsource the things that you can't do. If it is in your wheelhouse and it isn't going to take a lot of time, like I still write my content, I still make a lot of different things. I'm still very much involved in certain things. I look at how much I'm worth per hour and how fast I can do it and in what quality. If everything pans out, I'll do it. If it doesn't, it gets outsourced. Recently, if you've been following me, I did the content day. I had been doing all my video content myself until that day. But I've come to a point where I realized it isn't, the cost and the time is not equaling out. I was editing my own podcast. That no longer makes sense anymore, right? I used to schedule my own things on social media. I used to make everything from scratch. I used to do all kind of things. As the business has grown, I have to start letting some of those things go out to others that are experts. They can do it faster, they can do it better, and I can focus on my zone of genius. So do not be afraid. We've talked about a lot of different types of content, right? We talked about, making video content, graphic content, written content, right? Emails and blogs and articles and stuff. All these things, having events, cool. But you need to figure out where you fit in as a person within your business to say, okay, these are the things that I'm actually going to make and that I'm going to work on, or the pieces that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to outsource the rest. All right, when we talk about outsourcing, there are some options. They are all, in my opinion, affordable. It just depends on what your definition of affordable is. All right, so we got do it yourself. That's for the most part free or very low cost if you're, purchasing like a software, one time fee or maybe a small monthly fee. If you want to outsource to a person, you of course can use the tried and true Fiverr or Upwork. I've used them before, they're great. There are pros and cons. The pro is if you find someone good, they're pretty inexpensive typically, right? Now, if you let yourself get got, then that's different. But typically, you can work out some pretty good deals and find some pretty decent folk. Now, the con is sometimes when that isn't your zone of genius, you don't know what to ask for, or there are gaps in the understanding. Sometimes you are looking for the cheapest price, or you're getting somebody who may be in another country where English isn't their first language. And so the content they're making isn't connecting and transferring like you want it to your audience. So there are some things, because I know plenty of you want to pay $4 for a month's worth of content. But you're going to get, there's going to be some drawbacks to that. I remember when I made my first website, when I had my first business, and I hired someone to do it. I did the research, I vetted them, and it never saw the light of day. I went to, I think it was Upwork at the time, but it wasn't really that freelancer's fault entirely. It was more so that I didn't understand what that job was really supposed to entail. When I asked and got the quote, I really wanted more than what I thought I did. I needed more than I thought I did. And thus there was a language barrier. There was a issue with what the contract said versus what I wanted. And at the end of the day, it fell through. And I've talked to countless entrepreneurs who they've had that type of experience where they're like, I tried to hire somebody before and it went horrible. And typically one or two things is happening. Either the freelancer isn't who, they don't have the quality they say, they're not who they say they are. But typically it's the person that hired them didn't know what to ask for and they weren't clearly able to convey what they needed to the freelancer. That's typically what happens. So just be mindful if you, as an entrepreneur, hire someone for a job, especially one that you don't know how to do and you don't have a lot of knowledge about, then just be aware that the room for error may be great, even though it may seem more affordable. Some people will go the next step and get a VA. And I say the next step because VAs typically will be a little bit more usually expensive than a Fiverr Upwork person. Most of the time when I've gone on Fiverr, I've had clients go on Fiverr, Upwork, or something like that. They've said this little project is a flat rate or it'll take a couple of hours. The VAs, I would say, stay on for usually longer periods of time. So you're planning on keeping this VA for 6 months to a year, working with you doing a set of tasks. That can be great too. Usually that's not too expensive. But again, note there's a difference between a VA and a personal assistant. There's a difference between a VA and an executive assistant, and every VA doesn't do everything. If you hire a VA, do not expect that VA to all of a sudden be able to be the best video editor, the best web designer, the best graphic designer, the best copywriter, the best travel agent, because I see it all the time, the best pitcher, all the things, all right? The best, all the things. It's not how it works. VAs specialize in different things. Now, there are some VAs who are multi-talented and can do a lot of things, but typically they do a lot of things at a very basic level and not at a very high level. So just keep that in mind. Yes, you may find a VA that can do a little editing, can do a little graphic design, can maybe edit a few things in your website, But if you need something super creative, super time sensitive, cutting edge, or that's going to be a high conversion, more than likely they can't do that because they're not specialized in any one area. But they can be pretty affordable. You can get a VA that's out of the country. You can get a VA that's in the country, and that's fine. The next level up from that, in my opinion, is an agency. Like I have a marketing agency. So I'm not a VA. Like I used to be back in the day. But we are a marketing agency. And what that looks like is I have personally, as the CEO of my company, gone out and vetted all of our marketing experts. So we have a web designer on our team. We have a graphic designer on our team. We have a copywriter. We have a course creator. We have all of these people. We have a makeup artist now. We have all kind of things, right? And I know these people's work. I also know on the other side, when I talk to you as a client, I know how to hear what you're saying and get down to what you actually need and to make sure that what your contract says you want is what you actually truly want. And then because I'm an agency, I guarantee your work, meaning when you pay me, I'm guaranteeing that you're going to get what you asked for. And guess what? My we've already worked out all the finances and everything. You're already good. You don't have to worry about they're going to come back and ask for more money. They're not going to do the job. It's a more, in my opinion, stress-free way of outsourcing. Because it's more stress-free, there is usually a little bit more charge. We're going to be more expensive than your VA or your independent freelancer. But the benefit, in my opinion, outweighs that if you can afford it because of the fact that you know that even if you don't know something, there's somebody to fill the gap to help you. I can't tell you how many website jobs I get where somebody's like, oh, I just need a little edit, and they need a whole revamp. And then they're also trying to do things that's like, nah, that's not going to look good. You need somebody to say, oh, that doesn't work, or the platform doesn't allow this, or have you thought about that? We can make it better this way. That's what the agency does. We definitely stand in that middle ground and say, hey, we're going to help you not only do what you ask for, but we're going to ensure that it's the best version of what you're thinking it could be. And we're going to make sure that what you have in your head actually ends up in real life. And so the agency, I think, is, in my opinion, one of the best things that you can do. I still have to vet new people all the time, and it's always stressful. Some people don't make the cut. Some people don't make the cut. We constantly are bringing in new people. We actually are about to launch our VA services, and when I tell you, some people have not made the cut. And if you would have hired them, they would have had great resumes. They would have had little things to show you to say that they did the work, and you would have hired them, you would have paid them, and you would have not gotten what you asked for. So I took the hit and you didn't have to. So that's the benefit. And then I didn't put, like, I got my notes here. I didn't put in my notes, but I guess the next level up would be to have in-house marketing. Most of you who watch me are not at that level, but I do have a few of you who, and we've had clients graduate to this level where they need to have in-house marketing because you are turning things so fast and you just have so much that you need people that are on your team dedicated to those things. So having your very own content writer, right? Having, I shouldn't say content writer, copywriter, having a videographer on staff that, is everywhere with you, having a social media manager that's just for you and your team that you've hired. These are employees. That is the next step, I feel, after agency. So you kind of have to decide where are you in your business, what can you afford, and then again, think about what is worth your time doing, your skill set, versus what is best to outsource. And you can start small, do your research, ask for samples, ask for like, what would this look like? What is the time frame? How do you handle disputes? Like, ask all the questions so that you feel comfortable, and then make it happen. And if for some reason, maybe you start doing it yourself and that doesn't work out, maybe you do try Fiverr at work and it's like, maybe not. Don't be afraid to try new things. I have fired a many people and they will give you your money back. Fiverr and Upwork will give you your money back. I was like, no, sir. No, sir. We had a guy recently who was supposed to format a book because we help coaches and consultants that have books that want to self-publish. We were doing some formatting for Amazon, and he did a horrible job. I wasn't happy with it. My client wasn't happy with it. He was fired. He was fired. He was gone. I had someone else that we had come in that we wanted to do some video editing because that was a new service when Reels started getting popping and hot. And they were like, I can do it. They showed, oh my God, their examples were beautiful. I don't know where they stole them from. But they came on. They were awful. They were fired. Did it cost my client anything? Nope. I throw in buffers for myself. I make sure we have time buffers. I make sure we have cost buffers. It costs my client no extra anything. Her book is now available on Amazon. It is amazing. She has printed copies. She is happy. And that person did not get a dime, a red cent from me. Um, so I do encourage you, if you're listening today, to really think about making sure that you are consistently turning out content. I know, and I'll be really honest. I know that it may seem overwhelming, right? You're like, dang, you said a lot of different types of content, but you have to remember that people engage with you the way they want to be engaged, not the way you want them to be engaged, but the way they want to be engaged. Some people do not like social media. They don't like it. They're not typically up there. They don't want to see you. They don't want to follow you, like you, all that stuff. You're going to have to find other ways to connect with them. Email, text, phone, snail mail. Like you're going to have to figure that out. Some people are only going to be on LinkedIn. That's the only place they want to be. You're going to have to learn to post LinkedIn articles, go on LinkedIn Live, do all the things, right? Some people are going to just want to quickly glance at TikTok videos and get your information. Well, engage with them that way. And I'm gonna, tell you, you don't have to be on all those places at this moment. My tip is always pick one platform you enjoy and pick a platform that most of your audience enjoys, and at least start with those two. But you have to realize you have to diversify it. Clients come to me all the time and say, "Should I do this or that?" And I'm like, "You should probably do this and that." We just need to give you a way to do it that you're not going to go crazy and that you can be consistent, because consistency is really the key. You can make a great video and you could write one good email and you could have one nice article and you could have one nice flyer, but that is not consistency and people are not going to see it no matter how amazing it looks. You need to be consistent. People need to know that they are going to see you pop up on their newsfeed, that they're going to see an email come through, right? They need to know that they can count on you to be there, right? That know, like, and trust. Before most people will be willing to spend money with you. So if this still feels overwhelming, feel free. I did put in the description of this video. We are doing mini brand audits still. Our brand, we'll throw some different things out. They don't last forever. When we hit capacity, they disappear. So grab your free mini brand audit now. It allows you to get on a call with me, not a team member, but with me. And we actually look and see what you have going on, what types of software you're using, what type of content are you putting out, and what are your goals. And then we help, again, bridge that gap to say, okay, these are some of my suggestions. Now, I didn't say anything about investment. I said suggestions. These are my suggestions on how you can improve the system. Now, if those suggestions come with things we can help you with, I'll let you know. If they don't, I'll also let you know. And if you've had a call with me, I'm like that. If you want to do tons of money in ads, I'll tell you, hey, let me point you in this direction. We don't do tons of ads. That's not what we do. We do affordable marketing, mostly organic marketing strategies, because we understand that your money is finite and how much you have is how much you have. But definitely book your free mini brand audit. It costs you nothing. It's on Zoom and it is very hands-on. We together will be looking through your content and giving you real-time solutions. So if you walk away from the call and don't purchase anything, guess what? You still have a game plan when we are done on ways to up your social media content and also make sure that you are attracting and engaging with your target audience. So I think that's pretty fair. You get a little bit of time to me, but you're getting way more in return, and it's free because I'm all about giving that value. So guys, that is our talk for tonight. If you're not already a part of our private Facebook community, please definitely join us. Our group is called, let me bring it over so I can see it, because of course it has a long name because I don't like short names, but it is called Coaches, Consultants, and Speakers Start and Scale to Six Figures on a Budget. Join us because these guys see a lot more behind the scenes than anyone else. I'm constantly up there on video showing them the true, the real, the gritty behind the scenes. They're getting all the examples. of what's going on and how to get their business where they want it to be. We have a lot of cool things coming down the pipeline. I'm a person that I tell you what to do and I do the same thing. So we have a lot more video content coming out. So you'll be able to have that if you like written content. We also have our emails that go out at least once a week. We have blogs. We have LinkedIn articles. We do have short videos if you're in the private community. You can see you have free 8+ hours of content for small business owners. If you haven't grabbed that already, I don't know what you're waiting on. Plus, of course, we have these live events, these free Monday night lives every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have our every third Friday networking party. And then once or twice a month, we also have an expert speaker come in and do a master class. Not to mention our podcast, season 2 will be coming out next week, right? August. August. Season 2 of iRock Business with Confidence podcast will be coming out where I've interviewed amazing experts in their field, and they're giving you practical things that you can take away and implement right now to grow and scale your business. So lots happening in the iRock world, because I want to let you know, like, you can do this. If I can do it, you definitely can. And also make sure you're on the lookout for us highlighting some of our amazing business owners in the community. Because I'm all about highlighting you guys. If you have any events coming up, just tell me. I'm a real person. I will highlight you. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. And we don't charge you. So if you've ever, worked with other people, they're like, oh yeah, we'll, spotlight you for this amount of money. These are free. It's not a trick. I know people thinking everything's a scam. It's not. It's free. It's free. I want to support you in a real way. So definitely just stay connected. But thank you guys for listening tonight. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye, Instagram.